As you already know that Swiflearn is the India's most sincere learning destination for classes 1 to 10. Over here, all the classes are 100% live and interactive classes. So if you have any sort of doubt regarding the topic, you can ask to the teacher in the classes only, and the teacher will explain all the concepts live in the class, right? Now, coming to the second thing which we give the personalized attention to each and every students, because maximum 6 students are there in each of our batches. It can be a batch of 1 student or 2 student. It's totally according to you what type of batch you will choose. So accordingly the batch will be there, and maximum 6 students will be there, not more than that, which will help you to understand the concepts better. Without any hesitation, you can ask your doubt, you can discuss the topic with your teacher, and the teacher will explain everything in the classes to you. The teacher will also keep an eye on you, how you're progressing, and definitely this will help you to improve yourself, right? Coming to the third thing, that we have a very good dedicated academic mentor team who continuously track on how you were progressing, how you are doing the homework, classwork, in which topic you were lagging, which topic you were totally prepared. So according to that, you will get the feedback, and this feedback definitely will help you to improve yourself. And coming to the fourth very important thing, that is we cover the syllabus as per your school examination schedule. It may happen that some of the topics which you are already having in your school exam, but we have not done it yet, so we will do those topics first according to your request, and then we will move on to the rest of the topic, right? So this type of custom request generally we handle. Now let's see what are the key features of Swiflearn. How do you think this Swiflearn is totally different from any other platform? First of all, we maintain a detailed progress report of each and every student, and this progress report will go to you in certain interval after every alternate month. And this there will be the PTM, जैसे आपके स्कूल में भी PTM होता है, इधर भी होता है, where your parents will be able to directly interact with us in the classes, right? And if also they have anything to share with us, they are always welcome to do that, and we are always there to help you out, right? Now coming to the second thing, that we have the SAT for your scholarship, and this happens in every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Anytime you can, whenever you are free, you can attend this and you can perform. Your name and the rank will be there in our leaderboard, right? Coming to the third and the fourth most important thing, that is we have the unlimited practice test. So after completing each and every topic, what you have to do is go to our panel and do the practice of question answers. So both objective and subjective questions will be there. So objective के जैसे MCQs, match the column, filling the blanks, one word आपके exams में आते हैं, तो similar type of questions are there. So solve it so that you will be totally complete, you will be prepared for the concept. And subjective test is very important, because most of the time you generally lose marks in the subjective answers, right? 3 mark 5 mark का question में आपको marks lose हो जाते हैं, and that is why this subjective answer is very important. So write down the answer, upload it. We are there to check your answers, and we will give you the tips and tricks how to write the answer, how to modify the answer, where to include any diagram or chemical equation. It's totally according to the topic, okay? And this will definitely help you to get full marks in your board exam as well as the full, school exam. Hi Hariam. Okay, so let's now begin with today's session. Before that, let me tell you how to enroll over here. First, take a free trial class. Experience all these features in the trial class whenever you are free, and then enroll your name in our regular batches, right? So we will meet every day and we will discuss a lot about whatever is there in your syllabus, okay? Now let's move on to the topic, and let me tell you, whoever has not subscribed our channel, please subscribe it and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming sessions. So notification you will get before 30 minutes so that you can attend the session live, and if you have any sort of doubt, you can write it in the chat box. I'm always there to help you out. So do not forget to like, comment and share also. Chalo. So this is the third session of the reproductive system, which we were studying in the previous 2 sessions. So today is the third session, and this reproductive system according to the syllabus of class 10th ICSE board we are going, right? So, in the previous two sessions, we have already studied about the reproductive system of the male and female. So, we are totally we already have an idea about what are the different parts of the reproductive system in male and female. So in today's session we will mainly focus on the implantation and pregnancy, how anybody gets pregnant, how the implantation takes place, means the embryo will be implanted within the uterine wall, how the baby will get all the nutrients and everything, how the growth and development of the baby will occur inside the uterus. So these are the main focus of discussion in today's session. We will study about the embryo and its total development. Then we will study about how it takes birth and what happened during the birth. Then we will come to how twins can take birth. So what are the different types of twins, the identical and fraternal twins. So how it is possible to give birth to the twins, means what are the main biological processes which takes place during giving birth of the twins. And then finally we will move on to the test tube babies, right? So let's begin. Yeah, all of you are ready? Say hi, hello in the chat box. I can see many of you have already attended our session. You are attending my session. So till the end, please stay over here. And you already know that whenever I will ask you a question, if you give me the answers correctly, you will be the student of the session. I'll write your name on the screen at the end of the session. Right? Chalo. So let's begin with how the main fertilization takes place in the human body. So we already know that fertilization is nothing but the fusion of the two gametes. There will be the two gametes in case of the sexual reproduction which takes place in human being. So the two gametes will be one male gamete, another one will be the female gamete. So we already know that the male gamete is the sperm and the female gamete will be the ovum, or we can call it as the egg. Hi Ishad, how are you? So when this male gamete and the female gamete will fuse with each other, this process is known as fertilization. So this fertilization basically takes place within the fallopian tube of the female reproductive tract. Okay. Now, do you think the whole body of the egg and the sperm will fuse with each other, or do you think only a part of those two gametes will be fixed? Yes, so only the head part of the sperm, which is containing their nucleus, it will penetrate and it will go and fuse with the nucleus of the egg. Okay, so basically the nucleus of the sperm will be fusing with the nucleus of the egg, and this fusion will take place in the fallopian tube, and this is nothing but the process of fertilization. Okay, now once the sperm has entered within the egg, there will be a chemical barrier. So a chemical barrier will be formed around the egg so that it will prevent the entry of any other sperm. So it is always that the one sperm will be able to fuse with one egg nucleus, and after the fusion of the very first sperm, it will create a chemical barrier so that any other sperm will not be able to fuse with the same egg. Okay, up to this much clear? So this is nothing but the fertilization which takes place within the fallopian tube. Now after fertilization, what will happen? The first cell of the new generation will be formed, which is known as the zygote. We already know this, right? Now this zygote, that is the single cell, will start dividing soon. So with the help of the cleavage, it will start dividing soon. The first zygote will form two cells, again the 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32, like this. It will continuously divide and divide, and this stage is known as the embryo. Clear hai? Now, when the embryo will reach to a state which is containing like 32 cells, and basically it forms a cluster of ball, a hollow ball, which is known as the blastocyst, it will go to the uterine wall and it will fix with the uterine wall, the process which is known as the implantation. So let us see the embryo with the help of a 3D model. Okay, can you see the 3D model? Yes. So can you see this is just a cluster of the embryo which is coming and fixing with the placenta. This one is the placenta. As you already know, this placenta is the wall in between the mother and the child, and this is the main thing through which the nutrients, oxygen, everything will go towards the baby, towards the embryo, and in turn the carbon dioxide and the other waste materials will be excreted out from the embryo towards the placenta, so that it will go out of the mother's body. So this is the placenta, and can you see one connection between the baby? This is the embryo, growing embryo, you can see that. Okay, and there is a connection between the placenta and the embryo. This is known as the umbilical cord. Okay, and through this umbilical cord, all the exchange of the gaseous exchange, nutrient exchange, everything will happen. Clear up to this much? So this is nothing but the growing embryo having no distinct organs. So after that, after like 4 to 5 weeks, it will start forming the different organs, that is which we call as the differentiation, and the placenta will also grow along with that. The baby will also grow within the womb of the mother, and the total growth and development of the baby within the womb takes approximately 280 days, and this total period is known as the gestation period. Okay, up to this much clear? Let's move back to the slide now. Yeah, so this is the whole development of the embryo which takes place within the mother's womb. So you can see that first the ovulation will take place, that is the ovum will come out from the ovary. Okay, so this ovum will come in contact with the sperm, and the sperm nucleus will fuse with the egg nucleus, which is known as the fertilization. After fertilization, zygote will form in the first day. After the formation of the zygote, it will start dividing and dividing in the second day and third day. So it will form the 2 cells, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32, like this. Continuously cell division will happen. Okay, and finally this is the blastocyst, which is a cluster of cell, which is the embryo, which will come and fix with the uterine wall, and this process is known as the implantation, which produces the state of pregnancy. Clear hai? What is the use of stem? Yes, Hariom, I think you are asking about the stem cell, right? So stem cell is a particular very important type of cell which can give rise to the varieties of cells which are present within our body. Okay, they have this capacity. Like if I think about the varieties of cell, if you ask what kind of varieties of cell, think of the different types of cells which we have in our body, like the somatic cell, germ cell. We also have the neuron, that is the nerve cell. We have the different liver cells and all. We have the different cells in the different organs, right? So the stem cell have the capacity of giving rise to the different types of cells. Up to this much clear hai? Yes. Now let's move on to the embryo. So the embryo is formed and it has been already fixed with the uterine wall, right, with the help of the implantation. Now when the embryo will start having a look of a baby, it basically starts from the 7th week of the gestation. And as I'm already telling about the gestation, let me clear it. What is the gestation period? So the full development of the embryo within the uterus in the human being is known as the gestation period. So this gestation period in human being is 280 days approximately. So this will vary in the different animals. Okay, so this gestation period is totally different in the different animals. Up to this much clear hai? Okay, now let's move on to the placenta. So I have already shown you the picture of the placenta, the 3D model. Let me show you another 3D model of the placenta so that it will be totally clear to you. So can you see, this is the placenta. It is the placental wall, and it is nothing but it is totally fixing with the uterine wall, from where you can see the umbilical cord is arising, and this umbilical cord is going towards the abdominal region of the baby. Okay, so this baby is basically getting the oxygen and the nutrients from the mother through the placenta. It will come, and through the umbilical cord it will be transferred towards the baby, and the baby will give out the carbon dioxide and the other waste materials which is needed to be giving out from their body through the umbilical cord. It will go back to the mother's body, and the mother will excrete it out. Up to this much clear hai? Yes, so I hope that you have already got an idea like how the baby is staying and getting their nutrients and everything from the mother, right? Okay. Now, so this is the placenta, which is basically having the which is basically used for giving the food and oxygen towards the baby. In turn, the nitrogenous waste products are removed from the baby through the placenta, and this is the main function of the placenta. Now, this placenta has two sets of finger-like projections which are known as the villi. Let us see what are the two villi which are present. One set of villi are given out from the uterine wall. Like you can see, this is the mother's blood vessels and the mother's uterine wall, and this is the fetus blood vessel. You can see, if you see under the microscope. So if you just see this portion through the umbilical cord, how it is fixing, and this is just the this is just the part of the placenta, how they are interconnecting with each other and getting the nutrients. So in the close view, we will see that one set of villi is coming out from the uterine wall, and another set of villi is coming out through the extension of the embryo. Yep. So these are the blood vessels which are basically taking the main appropriate necessary things towards the embryo and giving out the excretory like excretory materials from the embryo. So the different blood vessels are there. This is the blood vessels of the fetus, and these are the blood vessels of the mother. Now over here, please look at the picture that exactly baby will receive the direct energy. Yes, so the two sets of villi are interlocked, but they are not opening with each other. This interlocking will be like this, okay, and they are not opening or coming in direct contact with each other. Rather, diffusion will take place, which will help in giving the oxygen and nutrients towards the baby and giving out the excretory materials from the baby towards the mother's blood. Okay, so they will never mingle with each other, but rather they will come in close contact with each other, so that appropriate diffusion will take place. Up to this much clear hai? Yes. Now let's see what are the different functions of the placenta. So first of all, this diffusion is the most important function of the placenta. By this diffusion, all the substances which are necessary for the growth and development of the fetus, it will go from the mother to the baby, and in turn the excretory organs which should be removed from the mother from the baby towards the mother's body will go out of the baby towards the mother's body. Okay, so from mother to fetus, you can see whatever will go is mainly the oxygen for growth and development, and the different nutrients like the glucose, amino acids, vitamins, minerals. You can see the fatty acid and glycerol, vitamins, whatever the drugs, the different medicines the mother is taking, it will go. Alcohol and nicotine if the mother smokes or practice like drinking, so it will also go. And there are also certain antibodies and viruses which can also go inside the baby's body. Okay, so that is why it is always prescribed not to drink alcohol or not to smoke during the pregnancy, so that it will not go towards the baby and it will not create any harm to the growing fetus. Okay. And what else will go from the fetus to the mother? Mainly the carbon dioxide and the urea, as well as the other different waste materials which will come from the baby towards the mother's body, so that it can go out and create, it will not create any sort of harm to the baby's body. Got it? Now let's see about the permeability of the placenta. What are the different things which are permitted or which are allowed by the placenta to move through the through this placental wall? So first of all, it doesn't move everything, all the germs to go from the mother to the fetus. Okay, but there are particular germs which can go from the mother's body to the fetus, like for example is the HIV virus. If the mother is totally infected with the HIV virus, that is the human immunodeficiency virus, which causes AIDS, so this virus can pass through the placenta and it can go to the baby, and definitely the baby will not be able to grow properly. So there will be the defect and the baby will also infected by this HIV virus, so it will not take birth properly, right? Secondly, if there is a direct continuity of the blood between the blood of the mother and the blood of the fetus, then you already know that the blood pressure within our body is totally high. So the high pressure, mainly the blood pressure within the mother's body will be definitely higher than that of the fetus body, so it can create any damage to the very delicate tissues of the fetus, the soft and delicate tissues of the fetus, and that is why again it is not coming in contact with each other to so that the huge pressure of the blood will not go till the towards the fetus. Up to this much clear hai? Yes. So this is the main permeability of the placenta. Now let's see how placenta also act as an endocrine gland, because placenta also produce the different hormones, the two main female hormone, that is the estrogen and the progesterone. And mainly this progesterone basically is produced in large amount during the pregnancy for the different development of the total fetus, the placental wall and all, so that the baby will get the proper amount of cushion, you can say, within the uterus. So this progesterone can come out from the urine, and that is why urine test is the very first test which happen in case of the pregnancy, where the presence of the progesterone level will be high, and this will prove that the lady is pregnant or not. Clear hai? Yes. Chalo. Now let's see what are the stages of the development in the human fetus. So this is the very first egg, fertilized egg, the very first cell of the new generation, that is the zygote, which we already know. So always remember that zygote is only one cell. Okay, it is a single cell. Now it will start divide the two cell stage, 4 cell stage, then 8 to then 16, 32, like this it will happen, and finally the blastocyst will form after 1 week, and after 1 week this will be implanted within the uterine wall, and finally the growth and development of the fetus will take place after 10th week or 16th week. The hand, leg and the other different organs will start growing properly, and finally after 40 week of the total development of the fetus, it will give rise to a total complete baby. After that the baby will take birth. Clear up to this much? Yes. Now let's see some of the main fluid and the main portion within the uterus, which basically gives the baby as a very good cushion, or we can say a very good protection. First one of this is the amnion. So amnion is nothing but a sac. You can see this one is the amnion. Just follow my pointer. This is the amnion wall. Okay, this is the uterus. You can see the uterus of the mother. These are the two fallopian tube arising from the left side and right side, and it will go towards the ovary. And this is the uterus, where this one is the placenta. You can see it is fixed with the placenta is fixed with the uterine wall, and finally this is the umbilical cord, and this is the growing embryo. Yep. Now this growing embryo is protected with a sac-like structure which is known as the amnion, and also there is a fluid which is present within the amnion which is known as the amniotic fluid. Okay, this amniotic fluid basically protect the baby from any sort of external injury. Got it? Like this, the baby is present within the uterus of the mother. Now let's see what are the main function of the amniotic fluid, because this is very important, because they protect the total embryo throughout the gestation period from any sort of external jerks or mechanical shock, or if the mother falls down, then it will protect at least the embryo, right? it will keep a proper even pressure all around the embryo, so that all the total development of all the organs around the embryo will be proper. It will allow the fetus to do some restricted movement over there, being inside the uterine wall, uterus. Then it also prevent sticking with the fetus to the amnion, so that there is a barrier in between, that is the fluid which is present, the amniotic fluid, which will prevent any sticking of the fetus with the amnion wall. Then at the time of the birth, what happens, the baby is pushed out by the contraction of the uterine muscle. So the uterine muscle will contract, so that the baby will come out through the birth canal. Okay, the birth canal, which is known as the vagina. This is the biological term. Now, the head of the baby will come out. In a few minutes, the blood vessels and everything, the umbilical cord which are present will be shrink, and it will be tied and cut down. So this is the main rise or giving birth of the baby. After about 15 minutes, what happens? The placenta will break, and the total wall, the placenta and the uterine extra things will be excreted out or expelled out. That is known as the afterbirth. So this uterine, hi Jasmine, how are you? So uterus contract and gradually comes back to its normal stage after a few days. Okay, so this is the very first thing. You can see over here the stages are showing the cervical dilation. First, the head of the baby will come out through the birth canal, and finally the whole body, and this is the attachment of the umbilical cord. You can see the umbilical cord, the blood vessels of it will shrink, and it will be cut from the mother's body. Okay, now the total baby is there, and the newborn baby will announce its arrival but letting out a sharp cry, and this is the main thing, which basically is the nature's clearing process of baby's respiratory passage, like all the different organs are working properly within the baby. Yes, so this is all about the full development of the baby within the mother's womb and the birth of the child. Let's move on to the next topic, that is how twins occur. So have you ever seen any twins? Any friend you have in your school or anywhere else in your neighborhood or in Swiftlearn, also Swiftlearn classes, have you ever seen twins? Yes, twin friends are there. Okay, so do you know how they happen? How twins are possible? We already know about the fusion of the gametes, like the fertilization takes place between one sperm and the one egg. So how come the twins take birth, or it is present? So let's see, there are two main types of twins, right? Two types of twins can happen. One is the fraternal twins and second is the identical twins. So fraternal twins is basically the two eggs are releasing from the two different ovaries in the same time, and both the eggs are fertilized with the two sperms, and definitely both of them will together develop. They will fix within the uterine wall and they will give rise to the fraternal twins. Okay, so this in this case, definitely the fraternal twins can be, both of them can be the boy, both of them can be the girl, or any one of them can be the boy and other can be the girl, because the two different sperms are fusing the two different eggs. Clear hai? So in this case also, most of the cases of the fraternal twins, we can see that they are totally different in their looks also. Yes, they are different in their looking. But have you ever seen any identical twins? Have you ever observed that their faces are so similar that we cannot identify which one is whom? Right? Yes. So how this happened? Basically, this happened when the sperm is fusing with one egg, and later on during the first stages of the cell division, after the formation of the zygote, what happened? This egg will be divided into two cells, and two cells will individually act as a single egg. Okay, and as they are independently behaving like a single different independent egg, they will produce one complete individual each. and as they are getting the similar type of gene from the sperm, they will be either two boys or two girls. There will never be one boy, one girl. Okay? Fetus will get all the required from the mother through the umbilical cord, beta. Understood, Isha? Yes. So the identical twins being produced will be either both of them are boys, both of them are girls. Never boy and girl, each of them. And this is the main case where the egg, after fertilization, they will divide into two cells, and each of them will independently behave like a single egg. Got it? So here most of the genes will be similar, and that is why they seems to be totally identical with each other. Okay, so this is the main case what takes place. This is the identical twin. See, after fertilization, what happens, the after the cell division, each of the cell will act as an independent egg, and further division will take place. So that is why either both of them will be the boys or both of them will be the girls. But in case of the fraternal twins, what happened, the two eggs are there, and the two eggs will be fertilized with the two different sperms, and that is why after the fertilization they can divide and form the two different individual. That is why it is possible that one can be a girl and another can be a boy. Clear hai? Yes, it's totally clear, I guess now. Chalo. So sometimes 3, 4 or even more babies can born from a single pregnancy. So उसमें क्या होता है? It will be a total combination of the different varieties. Some of them can be the fraternal, some of them can be the identical. Okay, variety of the combination will take place. Coming to the conjoined twins, we sometimes see them in the news or newspaper, we read about them, or we have also seen it in the books. So what happened over there, they basically produce from the same egg and they are not separated properly. Okay, and that is why in this case, most of the cases, they cannot survive long after the birth. So the twins are capable of sharing certain organs. Over here you can see that the brain portion which is there inside the head is totally shared. So this is a pathetic situation we can see. Now one example, like Iranian twin sister was there, Lidan and Lale. So they were also the conjoined twins. So they decided to get separated through the process of surgery, but it didn't make it. They didn't make it. Okay. Yeah, definitely, Irshad. It's totally, menstruation cycle is also controlled by the hormone. Now let's move on to the last topic of today, that is the test tube babies. So I hope that you have already heard about the test tube babies, right? Yes, do you think these babies are growing in the test tube? It's a total misconception. Okay, it is never possible that a baby can grow and develop within a test tube. So what happened over here is the mother can have the oviduct or the fallopian tube which is totally blocked, and that is why the egg will not be able to come and the sperm will not be able to reach to the egg. So fertilization naturally will not happen inside the body. So in this case, what will happen, the doctor will collect the freshly released egg from the mother's body and the freshly released sperm from the father's body, and both of them are fused outside the body, which is known as the in vitro fertilization. This fusing is happening within the in the laboratory. So there are the different types of chemicals which are there, which are used to preserve this ovum and the sperms, right? So the babies are born through this technique is known as the test tube baby. So what happened, first of all, there are the medicines which help to secrete the ovum, which is given to the mother. Then the doctor will collect the oocyte or the egg from the mother's body and also the sperm from the father's body. Now in the laboratory, with the help of the different chemicals, they will be fusing, right? They will the fertilization will take place outside the body, and as it is happening outside the body, that is why this is known as the in vitro fertilization. So after this fertilization, the embryo development will start happening, and further development, the developed when it will develop with the cluster of cell, it will be transferred towards the uterus, so that it will be naturally implanted within the uterine wall. And after that, the total gestation period will take place within the mother's body, within the mother's womb. The total growth and development will take place, and finally the baby will grow within 280 days, and finally it will take birth as the normal other babies. Okay, so this type of babies where in vitro fertilization takes place is known as the test tube babies, but it is not true that they will grow within a test tube. Okay, it's a misconception. So that's all for today's session. Let's now discuss some of the question answers which you can get in your school exam or the board exam. So first of all, like in the female, after how much time after fertilization the fertilized egg is implanted within the uterine wall? Hello? Yes? So it is about after 7 days. Okay? Coming to the second question, in human, the fertilization takes place in what? Mainly the fertilization will take place within the oviduct, or we can also call it as the fallopian tube. Clear hai? Yes. Third question, the middle piece of the sperm, it provides what? Basically, the middle piece of the sperm is having the mitochondria, and we already know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, so it will provide the energy. Clear hai? Yes. Okay. What is the function of the acrosome? Acrosome is basically present at the head portion of the sperm. They secrete a particular type of enzyme which is known as hyaluronic acid or hyaluronidase. Okay, this help the sperm to get fused with the egg wall, and it will further help the egg nucleus to be fused with the sperm nucleus. Hi Anushka. Next is, what do you mean by blastocyst? It is nothing but a cluster of cells in the early development of the mammals which is formed, and it is basically implanted within the uterine wall. This is known as the blastocyst. Okay, so that's all for today's session. Let's see what we have already studied. We have studied about the fertilization, the total development of the embryo within the mother's womb. Then we have studied about the implantation and the pregnancy, the whole gestation period and the total development of the fetus. And finally, we have studied about the embryo and the test tube babies, right? Yes. So do you have any doubt? Okay, so thanks a lot. Thank you very much for staying with us till the end. Thank you very much, Ishad, for giving me most of the answers correctly. And okay, so thank you very much for staying till the end of the session. So we will again meet in the next session. So till then, bye bye, and do not forget to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming session. We will again meet in the next session.